Guys, Jason here, and I'm going to reveal something else cool to you. I'm going to show you the rapture in another spot in Revelations that nobody talks about because they've misread it. We've been taught over the years that Jesus is going to rule for 1,000 years. And then after that 1,000 years, Satan's going to be loosened once again, once more. So after 1,000 years of wonderfulness, then this cruel thing's going to happen right at the end. This is a misread representation of the passage of the 1,000 years in the book of Revelations. Let's read it the correct way. I'm going to show you how it's the rapture. It's in the first 3 verses. The verses after that keep going to talk about how it's going to be in the 1,000 years. Okay? But the first 3, let's read them. And I'm going to explain this to you. It's Revelations 20. If you want to get there. All right, here we go. And I saw an angel come down from heaven having the key to the bottomless pit, a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold of that dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Okay, so this angel comes down from heaven, and most of it said, most Bibles say he gets locked in the abyss. So instead of saying they bound for 1,000 years, most Bibles say he's locked in the abyss for 1,000 years. Okay, but he's gone. When 1,000 years begins, he's gone. Okay, no more, locked in the abyss. And then it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more. Then here's where you're going to find the rapture, okay? It says, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed for a little season. Okay, this 1,000 years right here, you might as well replace the word with rapture or catching away or whatever. And it's not the actual time, it's the chance to get in. So as the 1,000 years begins, like I remember when Satan was put out of my mind, it was an actual feeling. It was a process. And now, just like Job, I only talk with God. If I hear Satan, I hear him through someone else. But for me, he's been locked in the abyss. That's when I knew then that I would be in the 1,000 years. That's when the 1,000 years begin. Not the actual 1,000 years, the chance to get in the 1,000 years. Okay? And he cast him in the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set up the seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. Meaning once the chance to get in the 1,000 years is fulfilled. Not at the end of 1,000 years, once it's fulfilled. So like right now, if the door closes, it's fulfilled. It's completely fulfilled. Then he's loosed, like he's about to be. Loosed on the people for 7 years. 7 years of tribulation. Do you get what I'm saying? The 1,000 years, read it. Read it for yourself. Go in your Bible. It may say it a little different. It might say, and as the 1,000 years had ended. It never says at the end of 1,000 years. Because then it's not talking about the actual 1,000 years. It's talking, this whole passage right here, 1 through 3, is talking about the chance to get in the 1,000 years. The ark. Once that ark door closes, it's fulfilled. That means that then Satan's loosed. That means the rapture's happened and Satan's loosed on the people. It's not 1,000 years goes by and then this happens again. This is not the way this goes. It's not some kind of cruel story. It's telling you about the rapture right there in Revelations 20, 1 through 3. It's not talking about the actual 1,000 years. It's talking about when it begins, when people start getting Satan out of their mind and realizing that you only talk to God in here. Satan has no power. So if you hear him, you'll still hear him on earth through other people, but not yourself, because you only talk to God. It's you and God. Okay? Now, that's when he's locked in the abyss. And the 1,000 years being fulfilled means the chance to get in the 1,000 years. Once it's fulfilled, what's about to happen? And you can see it in the news with Trump riding in a car called the Beast, headed up to the Red Sea Resort with all these flags, the Red Sea Resort in Egypt, to sign a covenant with many. Now, when I was talking about I'm happy every day, I was just excited today, looking for the shofar today, and I am tonight. I'm excited, guys. I know he's coming, and you know he's coming, and we shared this together. But I just wanted to share this little passage with you guys so you can go look and read it for yourself and understand that it is not talking about the actual time of the 1,000 years yet. For and on is talking about the actual 1,000 years. Okay? So, I just want you to know that so you'd be a little smarter about it, or you'd gain something out of this. But please go read Revelations 20. Any questions in the comments, I'll be glad to answer them. And I don't know how to do a live, but if you want to do a live sometime, and I'd love to answer questions. What preacher says, hey, I want to answer your questions? I would love to answer your questions. So you can ask me any question except for where did God come from. You got some stuff you have to find out when you get there. I love you guys. Bye.
أرسل من العلا فأخذني نشلني من مياه كثيرة إنما الله يفدي نفسي من يد الهاوية لأنه يأخذني برأيك تهديني وبعد إلى مجد تأخذني فأخذني الرب إله السماء الذي أخذني من بيت أبي ومن أرض ميلادي أرسل من العلا فأخذني
permanent house, not a booth. Permanent house. There are many mansions, but we're not so what he told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. So I can't remember if I stated this earlier, because this video did go a little longer than I planned it to. Don't listen to me. Everybody that's listening to this message now, don't take my word for it. Get in there for you and seek the Lord. Ask him what he'll have you to do. Can we spend 1 hour with him? Our spirit is willing, but our flesh is weak. Let our pride get out of the way. Let Jesus keep moving.
نشلني من مياه كثيرة إنما الله يفدي نفسي من يد الهاوية لأنه يأخذني برأيك تهديني وبعد إلى مجد تأخذني فأخذني الرب إله السماء.
Boy, oh boy, we have some interesting things happening in Egypt. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. And the timing is very, very strange. We have this massive music. I guess you would say music. This is like some sort of weird AI digital light show at the Great Pyramid. It appears to be, of course, a ritual of sorts. I don't know if you guys knew about this. And when you start to look into this, you start to find a lot of very strange things. Our president actually is going through Egypt right now. He's going through the Middle East. The timing is interesting. We have also all these weird things going on in the world at the same time that seem to be spiritual. We see spiritual warfare going on right now in the world. Check out this weird concert where they're showing some sort of being breaking out. And if you followed my channel for the last decade, I've covered what I think is underneath the Great Pyramid. We had the emerald tablets. Now, there's two types of emerald tablets. There's the emerald tablets of Thoth, which they tell you don't exist or not real. And then you got the actual real ones. They don't tell you that. Actually, they're kind of tricking you when they say that. There actually are literally tablets that are historical artifacts called the emerald tablets. But the ones that are called the emerald tablets of Thoth, there's like these fake ones that were made based off a book. But actually, they're sort of representing the original real ones. It's almost like they don't want you to know this. That's why they can come out and say this. I've seen people like Wes Huff say this. Oh, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, those are fake. They're not real. But actually, he doesn't tell you. Well, actually, there are some Emerald Tablets. There actually are real ones. It's just not the ones that people are referring to. They're pretty much the exact same thing. Oh, we shouldn't tell you that part, though. That talk about there being another dimension underneath these Great Pyramids. That there's something underneath them. Something that's trapped under there. Something spiritual. I covered, I think it was 12 years ago on this channel. It's been a long time. How I was outside walking around at nighttime praying. And then just God out of the blue just told me something weird. I wasn't even thinking about it at all. He's like, the bottomless pit is under the Great Pyramid. I'm like, what? Are you serious? Yeah, the bottomless pit is under the Great Pyramid. I'm like, okay. So I was like, that was kind of weird thing to hear from God. I'm like, what the heck's this? I went and looked it up. And I found out, whoa, actually there is some ancient writings saying this. This is weird. Are they actually trying to conjure, of course, something up from the Great Pyramid? And of course, I'm not going to play the audio because who knows if they have a copyright on there. I've seen how they've done that before. Just notice how the Great Pyramid disappears, reappears. You see that in their production there? Their light show, their virtual reality hologram projection that you'll see in a minute here. I'm going to show you it. Of a being, a giant being coming through this portal here. And these are the two pillars which represent a portal. We have also the lights in the formation of the sigil of Lucifer. Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Here is these two poles, two pillars, as you can see there. All right, so here is the thing trying to break out. What is trying to break out? Oh, well, I told you what's underneath the Great Pyramid. Some fallen watchers from the Book of Enoch, for example. Maybe some of those guys are underneath there. Yeah, actually, that's what Aleister Crowley thought. He was actually met by a being in the Great Pyramid. And then later, he literally had the devil come to him as I was. And yeah, that's what was literally told to him. So I wonder if it's true. Yeah, actually, I think it is true. We have, and I'm going to get into all this. We're going to get into a ton of stuff. I'm going to show you a lot more as we get into this. We're going to get into also where I think all this is going. We got some insane stuff being said by Sam Altman. First, I'm going to mention food supply, 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description. 4 months worth for $6.97. It's actually 3 months and an extra month.
Your email is your first online impression. Make it count. With GoDaddy Email, you get a professional...
Link is in the description. You never know what's next. Just in case there's a Terminator 2 coming our way, without Arnold Schwarzenegger, you might want to get that just in case. Considering what Sam Altman said right here, And I got an interview to show you as well of the guy, to show you how trustworthy he is. Sam Altman warns AI could kill us all, but he still wants the world to use it. I got to show you this interview of him on the Tuckmeister in a little bit, because it shows you really what kind of guy he is. All right. Also, this book here, The Lost Ways, how your great-great-grandfather lived without electricity, how to build a cellar, do things around the house as they did in the old days, hundreds of pages illustrated. You're going to definitely need that book before the power goes out. And if AI ends up taking all of our jobs, I'm sure somebody out there is going to be like, I think we need to hit the reset button. Oh, look, no power. You might want to get this book just in case. Link is in the description, $37 to get the printed version. So, of course, Sam Altman was in an interview recently with the Tuckmeister. Actually, it was a little while ago. Was this a month ago? I think it was a month ago. And I'm fascinated with this interview. It's so, the way they talk to each other is just very fascinating. That's maybe why it's got almost 40 million views. It's about a coworker who allegedly was his friend who mysteriously died coming home from a vacation. For some reason, his camera CCTV was all cut. All the wires were cut on his CCTV. He ordered takeout, but for some reason, according to Sam Altman, he really just was depressed for some reason and took, of course, unalived himself. This is according to Sam Altman. Yeah, and no one's really believing this for some reason. And here you have Tuckmeister asking him about it.
So you had complaints from one programmer who said you guys were basically stealing people's stuff and not paying them, and then he wound up murdered. What was that?
Also a great tragedy.
He goes on to say that he unalived, of course, himself. I just recently saw the post of what's being referred to as being stolen stuff that was taken by Sam Altman's company. And from what I understand, it came from Grok. It was a worker from Grok that stole all of the code for Grok and gave it to OpenAI, I think it was. Stole code. It was of one worker. And he got a job there. I think that's what it was. Let me see if I can find that really quick. Yeah, here we are. Well, they're just showing a weird... Here it is. This is the guy right here. Okay, let me show you this. Ex-Musk engineer stole Grok code, joined OpenAI before leaving. He stole $7 million worth of AI shares, XAI shares. Elon Musk is now suing him for allegedly stealing Grok's source code. This man right here. And, of course, Sam Altman right here is the chief executive officer of OpenAI. So that's the guy we're talking about. So they just had, so some guy who was sort of close-ish with Sam Altman had a conscience and is like, we can't just steal people's code. We can't steal the entire code from your competitor. This is not a good thing. And for some reason, he's gone. He's dead now in a very strange fashion. Let's let Tuckmeister explain this.
This was like a friend of mine. This was like a guy that, and not a close friend, but this was someone that worked at OpenAI for a very long time. I was really shaken by this tragedy. I spent a lot of time trying to, read everything I could, as I'm sure you and others did too, about what happened. It's like gruesome to talk about, but I read the whole medical record. Does it not look like one to you?
No, he was definitely murdered, I think. There were signs of a struggle, of course. The surveillance camera, the wires had been cut. He had just ordered takeout food, come back from a vacation with his friends on Catalina Island. No indication at all that he was, no note and no behavior. He had just spoken to a family member on the phone. And then he's found dead with blood in multiple rooms. So that's...
So as you can see here, Sam Altman looks like he's being genuine. He sounds like he's being authentic, but that's the problem. Because obviously in this case, something doesn't look right with regards to how this programmer died. And for him to just act like he honestly, really genuinely thinks he unalived, of course, himself, doesn't seem actually feasible. Like, I don't think he feasibly believes something like that. Like, I don't think anybody would. So for him to look genuine while lying, talking about Sam Altman, based on my own assessment here, he's most likely lying, at least in the aspect of not thinking it looks strange what happened to this programmer. The fact that you won't, like 90+% chance he's probably lying, and the fact that he can look genuine while lying is kind of a concern. And then Tuckmeister goes on to say, well, you know, this is a little concerning because people are wondering, because you're making AI, okay? If we can't really trust you on this story, how can we trust you with AI? Kind of a good question to ask. I don't know. Maybe because you got these weird things going on at the Great Pyramid right now. That might be a reason why we don't really trust it. Yeah, I don't know. It looks a little strange. Something coming out of from underneath the Great Pyramid, sort of giant looking. I don't know. Could that be a demon? Could that be a fallen watcher of some sort? Are you trying to pull something out from underneath that thing? In the spiritual realm, you only built a portal over it. I don't know. It's kind of strange, actually. Maybe that's what's going on here. And, of course, we also had another video go viral. We're going to get back into that in a second here, the whole Great Pyramid. Apparently, this just went viral yesterday. This guy's got proof that Mandela effect is real. He apparently put it in a safe.
Introducing Grammarly, like you've never seen before. Your all-in-one writing essential. Today, we're checking out proof.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have the best camera.
The other thing, whatever, blah 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 blah. Pull these out first. So I have the Shazam video that they say never existed, which is Mandela effect number 1.
You can't focus.
Get this to focus. I don't know why it's not focusing.
The other guy can't use the camera.
I have Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain Bears. Which is Mandela effect number 1. Well, let me get this to focus. I don't know why it's not focusing, but it's Shazam. I have Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain Bears. The actual book. And then I also have an original pair of Fruit of the Loom.
There was even a guy who found an old newspaper cut. In microfiche, you know, at the library, found an old newspaper. I don't know what year this is, 1960 or something, where it shows the evidence that indeed they did have a cornucopia. Let's see if we can check this out real quick.
News article, October 31st, 1995, cornucopia of job cuts, describing cuts in a Fruit of the Loom company. This tagline improbable, and this logo is reality. Twitter user communicated Fruit of the Loom company. The true logo never had cornucopia. Response. The cornucopia never existed. Even some of us are still convinced it was a thing, though. Some employees have retained their previous memories. Article by Billy Cox. The thing mentioned sounded pretty good. Pointed back that wire cutters had been wrapped in, then held up. It was a pair of...
I'm Fruit of the Loom, and we've talked about this on our channel before, back some years ago, probably 8 years ago. The whole thing with the Mandela effect, which is really interesting because the first time it was ever introduced, the entire idea of the Mandela effect, was 2009. In 2009. Okay, you see that? I don't know where my page went. I had it open earlier. When did CERN, of course, turn on? 2008. You see that? Isn't that a little strange? So the first time that thing ran was 2008. 2009 was the first, of course, mention of the Mandela effect. Makes you wonder if that's 100% related or not. I also have my own. I'm sure you got some as well. I remember Billy Graham dying and he wasn't dead. I remember him being dead, and then I saw like a show where he was still alive. I'm like, what? Wait, what? I thought he was dead. What's going on here? He's alive still? That was one for me. Also Keanu Reeves. And I actually found articles on the internet saying what I was thinking too, by the way, about Keanu Reeves. I thought Keanu Reeves was gay, like literally gay, like a gay dude. And I remember like him being with some guy, and it was like way back in like the 90s or so. I don't remember when it was. It was like the 90s or something. And I actually found articles on the internet from like way back, written right when the internet started, where people were saying the same thing as I thought. I don't have it pulled up right now, but the guy is not gay. Keanu Reeves is married to a woman, actually. At any rate, so there's a lot of weird ones like this that are out there, and some are saying that they use, of course, the Hadron to pull out these, beings. I'm curious about if it's running right now. Okay. So it was shut down in 2022. It was restarted in April 2024 and again in 2025. Okay, when did they start it up in 2025? July 5th. So they turned it on in July 5th. Biggest particle smash they've ever done. Is there going to be new Mandela effects? I bet you there are some. How much you want to bet there are? I'm sure there are. Does anybody mention any? I'm actually curious if there's any new ones, because I remember some of the stuff I covered back 10, 15 years ago. I had a video that got 12 million views about The Simpsons, and it was like Simpsons predictions. And actually, a lot of it came true, by the way. I should have kept that video. It had some copyright issue from the company, and I didn't know how to fix it, so I ended up deleting it. I had some copyright issue, and they hit it hard. That was a long time ago, though. But I feel like I just know things are different. You ever get that feeling? Like you just know it's not the same timeline as it was then. And another thing about this whole thing with the Mandela effect is I have a researcher. He really looks into a lot of stuff. He used to be in the occult, by the way. My researcher, he became a Christian many years ago. He's been out of the occult for a long, long time, but he knows quite a bit about it. And when he was looking into some of this stuff, he was talking about how the devil has been trying to change or manipulate the timeline. And perhaps that is what part of this is. When they do these weird arches in cities like we talked about 8 years ago, now we got this one at the Great Pyramid. It's like a portal. When they turn on, of course, the Hadron, of course, Collider, all these things. Are they trying to manipulate, change, of course, time? We also have a certain project, which I've talked about recently, Looking Glass, where they can actually see what's in the future. And then they were actually able to manipulate it up till about 2012, and after that they were not able to do it anymore. Perhaps because they couldn't do it anymore, after 2012 they went towards using this instead, this Hadron, and maybe these portals that they try to do as well. I know it sounds crazy, but actually it does make sense when you start looking into it, because we even had certain emails that were, of course, leaked many years ago where they're talking about Gilgamesh and stuff like that. We're talking from people at the top. We're talking about specific famous, politicians talking about this on their emails.
أخذني من بيت أبي ومن أرض ميلادي أرسل من العلا فأخذني نشلني من مياه كثيرة.
Right? Like, why would they care about Gilgamesh's body? Like, why? Why would you care? Well, see, Gilgamesh was Nimrod, and actually the entire religion of Egypt was likely surrounding Gilgamesh. So Gilgamesh, he was buried near the Euphrates River, but they say that they actually exhumed his body and moved it towards to the Great Pyramid location. And it was between the Sphinx and the main Great Pyramid that they found a recessed down, what do you call it? Whatever, I can't even think of the word. Temple, whatever you want to call it, where they had the body that was put there. And it was found back in 1999. I don't even have all the stuff open. I've talked about this numerous times, though. So apparently, his body was moved from there to Egypt, because I believe the entire religion of the pharaohs was around Gilgamesh and what he was trying to do, where he was building the Tower of Babel, because I believe Gilgamesh is Nimrod. I don't even have all the stuff open. I've talked about it numerous times before. But I actually think that all the stuff's connected. I don't want to, I mean, you actually can check out some of my old videos. I actually have it up on my website, GR Videos. I can actually show you real quick. Okay, so you can go to my website, GR Videos. It's linked in the description there. It actually might be the top link actually has all my links, and you can find it through there as well. But this is the free video section, and you just click to this right here. There's like an all categories, and I got all these words here that are just keywords. You click on Gilgamesh, and it'll probably be one of these videos. Like this one right here is probably one of them. I have others too. Like you can look for the word pyramid or other words. The free section doesn't have a ton of stuff in it. If you go to my membership section, which actually I just discounted, $5.95, $49.95 for the top plan, $5.95 for the cheap one, where you can just get access to the videos, and you can go to some of these different categories and just go in there and you can do the same exact search off the all categories right here. At any rate, so go check that out. But at any rate, so I mean, I wanted to get into more stuff. Actually, I have a lot of stuff here. You know, like I showed you with the whole thing with AI. You have here Peter Thiel talking about the Antichrist, and he has this really backwards, like reverse psychology way of looking at the Antichrist, which is probably 100% not right. The Antichrist will talk about Armageddon all the time. He'll scare people, then offer to save them. So Peter Thiel's weird argument is, if we just don't even try to be fear-mongering and don't worry about anything, we won't have the Antichrist, is basically his idea. He says we should have no regulations for AI, which makes no sense whatsoever what he's saying. I think there's a difference between fear and concern. We should have a lot of concern. Of course, I'm kind of concerned about Peter Thiel because he went to this Bilder, Berg meeting like a few months ago. So, I mean, that's my point. At any rate, the fact is we're seeing a lot of spiritual things going on right now. You have in the world, in South Florida, in a lot of these different college campuses, revival going on. As you can see there. And then at the same time, in Nigeria, Christians are refusing to renounce, of course, their faith. Almost 8,000 churches now attacked. 5,000 put in jail. And almost 5,000 also are just gone. As you can see here, they're still going to church even when their building has been destroyed. Absolutely astounding, but it shows you how the devil's been working of recent. In the UK, you have here, apparently you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church now.
Religion you're allowed to do anywhere.
No, miss, you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church grounds, by the way.
You're not allowed to sing church songs outside
of church songs or you're not allowed to. That's fine.
Except for if you're a Muslim, then you can do it all you like. You can actually even stop traffic. You can like pray in front of cars and on a freeway. You can literally do that if you want, if you're Muslim, apparently. You have here in Texas, Dallas, Texas, a Christian boldly went to hold his own prayer to protest, of course, against, we're seeing Muslims now praying in the park here in Texas. Check this out.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from Islam. For thine is the kingdom.
Oh my goodness gracious, dude. So you got that going on. And as I was saying, with regards to the Great Pyramids, we talked about all these massive chambers underneath the Great Pyramid. There are labyrinths, and it's actually far more space underneath the pyramid than they let on. At any rate, that's my video. Kind of what I want some of you guys to say. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.
خذ لك سنيكرز. أحسن؟
لأنه يأخذني برأيي